leaving his card. If you need any help, please grab one.
There'll be more cards from the other groups as well. We'll leave those cards in here. If you're interested, you can have a conversation with them here or give them a call a little later. So the next guest is a very interesting personality. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce one of today's most inspiring guest speakers, someone who has turned a personal health challenge into a life-changing mission. With a background in scientific research from his PhD studies in biology, he combined academic rigor with lived experience to tackle one of the most pressing health issues of our time, metabolic syndrome. Diagnosed with type 2 diabetes over 2 decades ago, he faced a pivotal moment when his condition threatened not just his health, but also his passion to fly. Refusing to accept a failure of escalating medications, he drove deep into the scientific literature and embraced a lifestyle-based approach to healing. In just 6 months, he reversed his diabetes and has remained medication-free for the past 15 years, maintaining an HbA1c around 5.0, an extraordinary feat. Through his WhatsApp group, Healthy Longevity, he has created a growing community of individuals, including many physicians who are experiencing similar transformations. His journey is a powerful example of what's possible when science meets self-determination. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Asogan, a true advocate for preventative health and lifestyle medicine.
Thank you so much, Suja. That is really very kind and very, very generous of my introduction. Sorry, is it too loud?
No, it's perfect.
Yeah, because I have 2 microphones, one built in my throat, another one is this. No, let it be that.
I can only shut off one.
Sorry. Okay, where should I start? I start. Thank you very much for letting me share my own story. 25 years ago, I was diagnosed like anybody in my 40s, metabolic syndrome, it's diabetic, high blood pressure, cholesterol. It's all come together like brothers and sisters. And I had everything in one go. And the doctor started giving me metformin, statin, and blood pressure medication. I started taking it. It upset me so much at that time, but I didn't bother. Okay, this is a life. I didn't know anything about reversing or controlling or anything. I never thought about it. 10 years it went on with the medication, and every year slowly when they found out my HbA1c was 6.5, I believe, and slowly it crept to 8%, slowly, end of 10 years. And every year I have to go through civil aviation medical examiner to pass my aviation medical test, otherwise I can't fly. My passion really make me think, is there any way out from this? Because I know if it goes beyond that and doctors increase my dose from metformin, if I have to end up in insulin, I will lose my license. So that was my point. I started thinking. Until then, I never thought like anybody. And that point, I started working, jumped into science. I never thought of reversing my disease. Because, chronic diseases are chronic diseases. Once you get it, you get it. That's it, lifelong disease. You can only manage, you can't cure. So at that time, I believed in that way. And then I jumped into real science. I went through lots and lots of studies. I used my PhD work on that one. Everything is scientifically backed, not through WhatsApp doctors. So, yeah, that's bad because lot of misinformation around. That's very, very bad, extremely bad, because I don't want to really touch with that point. Okay, let me go with my own story. Then I decided, okay, next time when I go for medical exam, I wanted to make sure everything is in a right place so that I pass my medical. That was my aim. And 6 months I really worked hard with what I understood, and then I started working really, really well. Two things. We all know food is medicine. But how many of us really think food is also poison? Wrong food will put everybody it drive you to disease. Right food will cure you from the disease, okay? So I just made sure I'm not touching the wrong food, right food, everything what needs to be done for 6. Sincerely I put effort. It's not my discipline, but it's because of my passion. I wanted to do something. I never thought I could reverse, but I thought of controlling my diabetes. But at one point, after 6 months, I went to doctors, and I went for the blood work, and then the blood work was done, and my doctor really raised his eyebrow because it's gone down from 8 to 4.2. That is not diabetic, the low end of normal people. Extremely, immediately, and my blood pressure is gone. Also, my cholesterol ratio was fantastic. Immediately, I stopped starting all the medication on the spot, and I passed my medical. And I was so happy that I managed to do what I wanted, more than what the result came very nicely. Okay, my body worked very well for the work, but let me talk about it later. But later on, what happened? When I first moved to UK 40 years ago, I had a runny nose and itchy eyes when it comes to summer. I didn't know what it was. And I went to the doctor, and he said it's kind of allergy. He put me to different allergy tests, and then he confirmed that what you got is called hay fever. I never knew anything about hay fever. That is because of the pollen I get from the different country. And the doctor, I remember, his name is Dr. Reddy. He said, sorry Ashokan, you have to pay this price to live in this country. Nothing can be done, and all I can do is I can give you medication which can control the symptom from April, when the pollen thing starts, until end of September or August, you probably have the symptoms. And after that, winter time, you are fine. And the London weather, only these days you can enjoy outdoor. All these times I am scared to go outdoor, because rest of the time you get grey skies, nothing, all the time overcast, you don't see sun or anything. So I can't enjoy. I really was terrible, because, if I go out, my symptoms got worse. And after this, every year I buy medication, like, all nasal spray and everything what doctors prescribe. And that year, I was expecting this one to come. April came, nothing. May, nothing. June, nothing. July, nothing. The entire thing, I never opened my medication. So then I realized this condition also reversed. And that biggest thing I got is my toenail. My toenail used to be a dead nail, it's hereditary, because my sister got it, my mother got it, all my uncles got it, and I got it also. So every time I try to hide my toe with a socks and shoe or something like that, I don't want to expose my toe to anybody, because it's a dead skin rather than a nail. And suddenly that's gone. I got nail back. That is a hereditary, inherited one. Everybody else got, my mother got, and it's gone. So that's the time I realized, okay, even this can happen, anything can happen. Then that I started diving into the cancer. So I think everything can be at least controlled or reversed or do something about it. Then I realized so many things in my life. And I tell you one thing, every year I used to get, those days my immune system was very, very low. Every flu season, I get flu. Every season, invariably. Whether I go out or not, I get it. But and I don't get any more. And you won't believe, 2019, when the COVID first came, We were a joint family with my daughter, my son-in-law, everybody. And before even the vaccination came, my son-in-law got COVID and affected, and we were with the house until he was diagnosed with the COVID. And so you know that how close, and I was prepared for that because it is very, very highly contagious. I thought I warned my wife also, we are all going to get COVID more likely because he got it, and for my surprise, I didn't get it. And 3 different occasions, my son-in-law, all my daughters, my grandkids, all got COVID. I never got COVID. Never ever, until this point. Then I realized my immune system got really got all the power through my food. And now, my father died of cancer, lung cancer at the age of 52. I was a bit scared because I may be prone to cancer because he got an oncogene in his body. Now I confidently say, I will never get cancer. And I tell you friends, nobody ever have to have cancer, heart attack, stroke, all these major 3 killers. Only if we know what we do, what we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to not to do. I'm not a strict follower. I had a couple of drinks also now, but it doesn't mean that I'm a strict follower, but I follow strictly. I check my blood work every year. I make sure nothing goes wrong. And also I just make sure I look after myself. So if I can look after myself, everybody can look after. One day, I tell you how the WhatsApp group came. One day I had to attend one of my friend's funeral. He died of heart attack. I was so unhappy that this heart attack could have been easily avoided if he knew what he's supposed to do. And I was telling my friend in India, my roommate, those days, college days, and he said, why don't you write a book? He said, no, I have no credible thing. Because if I write book, they look, I'm a doctor. Then or nutrition. I don't have any qualification on that side, so people won't accept my view. So my story will not sell. But I feel very, very unhappy. But he said, you wanted to help your friends and family. Why don't you start a WhatsApp group? Just include your friends and family. And then spread your news across what you learned from your experience, and at least you have a peace of mind. That day I started, I think it's 12 years ago. And now it's more than 350 people, I don't remember exactly. Half of them are medical doctors, and every one of them. I tell you, 12 years ago, there were 10 cancer patients in my group, and still they are working. If they are on the stage 2, they're never gone to stage 3. If they are stage 1, they could control the cancer. Cancer is very difficult ideology, she probably knows. It's not easy, but even if you can control cancer, I tell you, best thing is reverse cancer. Prevent cancer completely. You don't have to have cancer. If you have an immune system, powerful immune system, like what I have, definitely you can, because immune system is million times powerful than chemotherapy. Chemotherapy attacks random fast-growing cells, but our immune system attack the targeted cells. It will never let the things go. But there are quite a lot of things to avoid if you don't want cancer. Like I don't encourage dairy product, meat, or anything. Meat product, any animal proteins. Proteins are one of the culprits. If I go into the subject, it's too deep because years of study. I don't want to really bore you. Take your time. So you have to enjoy the time. But I tell you one thing, very few steps if you take just a tips, just sort of tip, you can take tip. Like, your main food, 3 meal is completely as a crime. Please understand. Nobody after 25 years, you have to go back to 2 meals. You can spread out nicely, but you probably think, how is possible? It is possible. Have lots of fiber in your food. 80% of your meal should be vegetables, beans, nuts, seeds, and only 20% you can enjoy your rice and wheat. See, you have to change your plate. If you change your plate, that makes a lot of difference in your life. So basically, we give abundant micronutrients. Many people talk about macronutrients. Micronutrients are the key. They do everything. Our body is an incredibly amazing thing. It's ready to help you, but we are not helping our body. So basically, if I help our body, the message even sparks somebody here, it really is I would say is a successful mission, because I want to spread this news across. I know you are getting news from different things. This is my own personal experience. I can show my blood work even today. You can see it's verifiable. Honestly, everything is under control. And from that point to now. So now I'm 65. I'm 65 years old. I'm sure physiologically I may be 45. Of course, mentally I feel 25. That's a different story. So I tell you, friends, I don't want to really go into this one, and you are welcome to join my group, and then we share quite a lot of good information around, and then you can really enjoy the benefit. But honestly, believe me, today I wanted to give one assurance: nobody have to have heart attack, cancer, or stroke, or in fact any chronic diseases. Any chronic, quite a lot of people from psoriasis, all the autoimmune disease, everything is reversible. At least controllable, but nothing is curable. I have to agree that, because it's not a cure. You control through your food. Now, my HbA1c never go beyond 5.5, 5.2, 5.3, 5, 4.5, something like that. But if I abuse for 2 weeks, 3 weeks in my holiday time, nothing happens. But if I start abusing for 6 months, I will get it back. That means it's not a cure. We can't claim it's a cure, because body sensitiveness gone completely. But you can reverse and keep it in that way. So it's not a cure, it's reversal. Two different things. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, friends, for that lovely opportunity. Thank you, Suja. So I hope I never bored you anything. Thank you.